Welcome to T-SIB Talks, where we share information on construction insurance and its possible effect on your business. Enjoy our latest episode.
Hey Mike, welcome back for joining us on another episode of T-SIB Talks. We're looking forward today to hearing you talk about tightening bond conditions and rising subcontractor defaults. So if you want to go ahead and reintroduce yourselves for those who may not know who you are from last time.
Sure. Thanks for having me again on, Dom. I appreciate the time. Again, my name is Mike Dugan, work at TSIB in the surety department.
Awesome. So let's get started. First question here. We've heard a lot about bonding becoming harder to obtain. What's going on with the surety market right now?
Yeah, thanks for the question. We're definitely seeing a shift after several years of relatively soft market conditions. Surety companies are tightening their underwriting. That's largely in response to rising claim severity, meaning when defaults happen, they're costing more to fix. Inflation in materials and labor has pushed up the cost of completing bonded work from what we're seeing. For example, the Surety and Fidelity Association of America reported that the direct loss ratio for surety bonds hit in the neighborhood of 25% in the first 9 months of 2024, which is the highest it's been in years. So while bonding capacity is still available, underwriters are asking more questions and being more selective, especially with contractors who are stretched too thin.
How does that impact contractors day to day? Are bond approvals actually getting denied?
It's not so much that bond approvals are getting denied outright, though that can happen, but we're seeing more scrutiny. Sureties are tightening terms for sure. They may lower the size of a single job limit, require more detailed financials, or even ask for collateral in certain situations. It also affects subs. Some who used to qualify for bonds are now having a harder time. And if you're a general contractor who relies on bonded subs, that's something to pay attention to. In short, getting bonded isn't automatic anymore. It takes preparation and strong financials.
Okay, so you also mentioned that there's a rise in subcontractor defaults. What's driving that increase?
Well, it's a combination of pressures. First, inflation has really squeezed subs. Many are working off fixed price contracts that were signed before material and labor costs surged. Their profit margins are gone, or worse, they're actually losing money. Second, we're still in a tight labor market. Subs in key trades like electrical or concrete are struggling to find skilled workers, and that's leading to quality issues and missed deadlines in some cases. Add in slow payment cycles, which can average nearly 60 days, and higher borrowing costs from elevated interest rates, and you have a lot of financially stressed subs. Some just can't keep up and end up defaulting.
Do we actually have a sense of how widespread this is? Are defaults happening everywhere, or is it just in like isolated cases?
It's definitely widespread. 2024 survey from the AGC and FMI, as an example, showed that 70% of contractors reported increased subcontractor distress last year, and nearly half experienced a project disruption due to a subdefault. Engineering News Record also recently highlighted that subdefaults have risen sharply, in some cases doubling from the previous year. So this really isn't anecdotal. It's a real trend that's affecting job sites across the country, especially on larger, more complex projects where multiple trades are involved.
So after mentioning kind of both of these, how do these two trends, repeating tighter bonds and rising defaults, how do they affect each other?
They actually feed into each other. More defaults lead to more bond claims, which causes sureties to tighten their standards. That, in turn, makes it harder for marginal subcontractors to get bonded. And some contractors may be tempted to hire unbonded subs to keep a project moving. But that's risky, of course. Without a performance bond in place, the GC absorbs all the risk if a sub fails. And the cost of completing a defaulted scope can be from 1.5 to 3 times the original contract value. So this cycle really compounds project risk if you're not paying close attention.
So what can general contractors do right now to protect themselves from this happening?
There are really several smart steps they can take. First, tighten subcontractor pre-qualification. That means going beyond reputation or past work and looking at up-to-date financials, current workload, and labor availability. Second, require sub-bonds on critical trades or large scopes of work. If bonding isn't feasible, at least ask for a bonding letter from a surety to confirm the sub is eligible. For GCs doing a high volume of work, subcontractor default insurance is another option. It offers broader coverage and faster claims handling, though it does require a disciplined internal risk program and is really only for the very largest of general contractors. And finally, review your subcontracts. Make sure you have language around joint check payments, the ability to step in with supplemental labor, and clear default provisions. The goal is to be able to intervene early, not after a problem becomes unmanageable.
Moving on a little bit and shifting gears here, what about payment practices? Do these play like a significant role?
Yeah, absolutely, Dom. Cash flow is one of the top reasons subcontractors default. If payments from the owner to the GC are slow, and that slows payment to the sub, it can push a financially weak sub over the edge. Wherever possible, GCs should try to shorten their own payment cycles or structure progress payments in a way that helps subs stay on track. Some are also using joint checks to pay suppliers directly, especially if a sub shows signs of stress. That can keep the job moving without having to immediately replace the sub.
What would be any of the key takeaways for contractors who might listen to this podcast?
Well, the biggest takeaway is probably this: don't get caught off guard. We're in a market where subcontractor reliability and bonding availability can no longer be assumed. Risk management has to be proactive. Pre-qualify aggressively, use bonds or SDI where it makes sense, tighten your contracts, and definitely stay close to your surety partners. They're there to help, but they need to be looped in early. The construction market is still strong overall for the most part, but it's also more volatile. Contractors who recognize that and prepare accordingly are going to have a much easier time navigating the months ahead.
Mike, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have, but I do want to say thank you again for coming on this podcast. I feel like we really learned a lot, not only between your last episode, but between this one as well. We really appreciate having you on, and we look forward to doing an episode 3 with you soon.
Yeah, thanks, Dom, for having me. Again, happy to be here and look forward to coming back sometime soon.
Thanks for listening to this episode of T-Sib Talks. If you like this content, be sure to follow for new episodes. Until next time.